February 17th, 2026 meeting of the Conservation Commission is being recorded. Would you please stand and salute the flag? Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Septic hearings. First one for the night is Pauline Messier, RDA 9193 Benoit Street. Put my ring off, George. Important. Everyone wants to talk to me. You just laugh. You just laugh. I think she laughed. How are you tonight, Judge?
Good evening, gentlemen. For the record, my name is George Ayoub. I'm representing Pauline Messier regarding 91 and 93 Benoit Street. I have some small plan here, easier to read.
That's fine. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. I'll pass it down. Yeah, okay, just have to. Yeah.
Thank you, George.
I'll give one. Should we have enough? I'm sorry.
You go.
Yeah.
You good?
Should we have enough?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're good.
Oh, sure. Okay, sir.
May I say something?
No problem. Here we are. Okay.
Very good.
Okay, what
Whenever
we
you're
have
ready.
here is we have a, currently we have a failing septic system at 91 and 93 Benoit Street. This property is a two-family with 4-bedroom. And we have an old system here, probably was done in the 1970s. And what we have is 4 beehives and two septic tanks. We're going to propose a new septic system that meet the requirement of DEP and Town Board of Health. We're not asking for any variances. There is a brook on the side here that I think it dries up in the summertime, I heard. And we got some wetland. And there is no work, I already flagged it here, there is no work at all within 50 feet of the wetland line. We will install silt sacks at the 25-foot buffer. You can see it in probably green. And the 50-foot is the red color. And the minimum filling will be at least 63 feet from the wetland line. And the septic system, the edge of it, is 68 feet. It's basically we're going to remove all those old structures and put a new system straight forward.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do a report, George, if that's okay.
Mr. Chairman and members, Pauline Messier, 9193 Benoit Street. This is a request for determination of applicability filed by George Ayoub. Report date is February 13th, 2026. The site visit was also, or rather was on February 12th, 2026. Description of the work: the applicant has filed a request for determination to propose a repair of the septic system at the property for the existing 4-bedroom dwelling. As George mentioned, it's a duplex with 2 bedrooms on each unit. The wetland line was walked and also at the edge of the river. It was determined that they represented the wetland line and the edge of the river accurately as shown. The leaching area is being proposed at 68 feet from the wetland, with the grading slightly closer for the raised area at 63 feet. The regulations under repair allow the activity within the riverfront area that exists within this unnamed perennial stream along the east side. The setbacks meet the Title V requirements, which is a 50-foot setback. Old system to be abandoned per the Title V requirements. Septic tank and pump chamber will be installed to the rear of the home at approximately 90 feet from that wetland. All work is within the existing maintained lawn area for the property. Again, resource area is impacted as buffer zone and riverfront area. Recommendations: the Westport Conservation Commission should approve the project for a septic repair with a negative box 3 determination.
George, is this Board of Health approved already?
They're working on it, waiting for you guys.
Okay. All right. Any questions, guys? If no questions, we're looking for a motion.
Motion approved.
Second. Do you want to make it subject to Board of Health approval?
Yeah.
That was Jake and Phil. All in favor? Opposed? That's unanimous, Leon. Alexander Machado, RDA 92 Benoit Street.
Gentlemen, this is a similar situation. I got some extras.
Thank you, sir.
Please ignore my checks and I just give one to them. One here, one here.
Thanks, Chairman.
To the gentleman over there. Thank you. For the record, again, my name is George Ayub, and I'm representing Mr. Alexander Machado, and he's got a property at 92 Benoit Street. This is similar to the other location, across the street, by the way. However, it's only single family, has a 3-bedroom house. We're not asking for any variances. We're going to replace the existing failing septic system because it's in the groundwater anyway. The cesspools are in the groundwater table. We're going to replace it with a new septic system. As you can see here, there is one, I highlighted the yellow, there is a like infiltration structure which is about 30 feet from wetland. We're going to eliminate that. We're going to backfill it anyway, remove it. Be pumped out and removed. And the rest of the work is outside the 50-foot buffer. We installed siltation, silt socks around at the 25-foot, and basically that's it. We're not asking for any variances, and it's a new septic system. It will be pumped chamber. By the way, all of them are pumped in that area. The ground is tough.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, this is Alexander Machado, 92 Benoit Street. Request for determination of applicability filed by George Ayub. Report date is February 12, 2026. The site visit was on 2013-26. This is Board of Health approved. The applicant has filed to repair the septic system to the existing 3-bedroom home. As George mentioned, this is immediately across the street from the previous one. The wetland line was walked and determined to be accurate. There's also associated riverfront here, but this is much further away as the river goes much further to the east of this site, and the wetland is much larger in this particular location. The proposed leaching field is to be located 56 from the wetland edge. The septic tank and pump chamber will be installed behind the home, and those will be 54 feet from the wetland. All work are again proposed with the existing lawn area for the home. Activity meets the minimum setback distance per the regulations and Title V of 50 feet. The old system here as well is to be abandoned per Title V regulations. Erosion controls will be installed as the limit of all work on the site. Resource areas to be impacted is buffer zone and riverfront. Recommendations: the Westport Conservation Commission should approve the proposed sewage disposal system with a negative box 3 determination for 92 Benoit Street.
All right, any questions, George?
Why are the houses right across the street from each other doing this at the same time? That just a coincidence or what?
Just a coincidence. This one is just sold. The other one happens to be currently still under the same ownership.
It's a different owner. Yeah, different owner. The gentleman just purchased the property. He's trying to fix it right now.
Is this one also pending Board of Health? Same?
Yes,
No.
similar situation. Waiting for your approval.
All right, motion?
I'll make a motion to approve pending Board of Health approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that was Jason and Jason. Thank you, George.
Thank you, George.
Just for your record, there is another property right next to it, has been approved already, but it's far away from wetland.
Yep.
Similar situation.
No problem, George.
Okay, Town of Westport, notice of intent, roundabout, intersection Route 177, Tickle Road and Robert Street.
You know that Greenwood one too, right?
We don't say moved unanticipated.
Yep. As long as you got it on your radar.
I got red pen. I always listen to the red pen. They always said A pluses on my work.
You always got 8 pluses, so you never
Jake,
saw
I
it.
said A plus all the time. Maybe. Is this actually the town doing this or the state?
Town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jake authorizes?
Yeah.
It is authorized.
What happened to our easel?
It's upstairs. I got one.
We're saving it?
No, if I leave it down here, it disappears, but.
That happens in our office too.
This is why he likes to feel foolish when he comes to a meeting, because it won't stay
We
up.
need the easel. We buy the aluminum magnets because they're cheaper.
Yeah.
We need an easel.
We got a few too many pages here, I know, so.
They don't work, but, you know, they're cheap.
Let me give up this chair. Look at this brand new chair.
First.
All right, whenever you're, actually, you know, I need your green card, your butter notification cards.
Okay.
They are in the
Oh, no,
file.
I have them, yeah, that's good, we
Yep.
have them.
Thank you, Mr.
So you guys
Chair.
can start your presentation, please.
Those sheets right there. All right, good evening, Commissioners. My name is Greg LaCroix from Park Corporation. I'm with Kyle Stanley, an engineer from Park Corporation. I'm an environmental scientist. We are here on behalf of the town and MassDOT for the proposed intersection improvements at the Route 177 Tickle Road and Robert Street intersection. They're proposing a roundabout in place of the existing intersection. Just to kind of work through some of the administrative stuff, we did submit as a limited project under 10.53F, which is for roadway improvements, specifically correcting substandard intersections. We did receive a file number from DEP under 0802827, for which we have responded to their comments, which were pretty minor, last Friday. So we submitted a supplemental memo at that point, responded to those comments, and a few tweaks to the stormwater management system, which we'll walk through today. So that's more the administrative side. At this point, I'll kick it to Kyle to discuss the design, and I'll circle back around for wetlands information.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having us today. So basically, just to give you a brief overview, I'm sure you're all very familiar with the area. This intersection improvement is the intersection of Route 177, Robert Street and Tickle Road. Tickle Road and Robert Street are currently stop controlled, and Route 177 runs freely at a pretty high rate of speed. So the town ultimately has concerns with the existing operations at the intersection, and ultimately wanted to make safety improvements to that. In order to construct the safety improvements, they needed to receive funds from MassDOT. So once you go through MassDOT, now you have to go through all the MassDOT guidelines. So first thing we did was conduct an intersection control evaluation, or an ICE, as you may hear me refer to it from this point forward. And basically, that will just analyze, it analyzes any type of intersection control, say like an all-way stop, signal, roundabout, and it will assign a value to that based off criteria such as traffic capacity, crash reduction, and other sort of criteria in that nature. And based off the results of the ice, the roundabout was found to be the preferred alternative. In addition to just the ice, we did have to review the MassDOT Complete Street Guidelines for bicycle and pedestrian accommodations as well. As you can see, we ultimately landed on needing to implement a 8-foot wide shared use path with a 5-foot wide buffer, and then a connective sidewalk on the south side to help people cross here. Once we had that footprint laid out, we looked to see where the best place would be to put the roundabout. We first looked to see if we could keep the existing intersection at its center, but with the sidewalk and the widening in this area here, there is an existing septic system in the southeast quadrant right here that would have been impacted. So in order to avoid that, we needed to shift the intersection north, which you can see does impact and encroach on some of this existing wetland here. Greg will get further into the actual impacts and the mitigation that we will be doing in that area. The last thing I wanted to show was just the stormwater system. So to give you a brief overview of what we plan to do to treat stormwater. So the base plan said it's still big. So at the western end of the intersection here, we are proposing deep sump catch basins wherever feasible. There are a couple locations where we do need to provide gutter inlets where there is gas relocation, or just we are proposing water quality swales, which will show more predominantly on the next page. Or we needed to keep it shallow just so we didn't change the capacity of that swale. So we are proposing, as I said, deep sump catch basins to provide pre-treatment prior to entering the water quality swale. There's 2 water quality swales proposed. There's one, this will end up being one here, sorry, it's a little cut off from the overlap, and then this would also be, is also going to be one with GB and check dam baskets. And then for the eastern limit here, again with MassDOT needing to meet their guidelines, we didn't ultimately change this drainage. This will still discharge as it does today and almost act as an overflow. So it's not taking any additional stormwater from outside the project limits. But we did have to run a new trunk line in order to take these existing catch basins out of series. And eventually this does discharge to a point closer to the wetland. There is existing head walls here for the existing discharge. I know it's tough to see from here, but here's your existing roadway. So we are widening a decent chunk to the north here. We did try and look at pre-treatment in addition prior to the wetland, but this existing drainage system is very shallow, so we were pretty constrained with the grade that we were actually coming out here and with the existing wetland grade. With that, I will turn it over to Greg just to discuss some of the wetland impacts and the mitigation that we're proposing.
So wetlands around the site, just to start it off, we have the B series, that's a BPW in the northeast quadrant. We do have an IBW identified as the E series on the plans to the south of the site, and then to the east of the site, we have the D series wetland on the southern limits of the road. We are associated with the shared use path. There are some unavoidable wetland impacts. I color them in purple so the commission can see a little better, but pretty small slivers where the shared use path in the shoulder leading down to existing conditions will fill in some wetland BBW, and then associated erosion control temporary impacts. For that, in order to meet performance standards of the Wetlands Protection Act, we're proposing a replication area to the northwest of that location. The replication area is designed at a 2-to-1 ratio to loss impact, so we're proposing 1,087 square feet of replication for the 508 maybe square feet of impacts. So that's our plan to address the performance standards for BBW impacts. With that, I think that's pretty much the whole project. We've been happy to answer any questions from the commission.
All right, well, Chris will read his report, and then we can get into some questions. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, members, this is the Town of Westport filing for American Legion Highway, Tickle Road and Robert Street intersection. This is a notice of intent application filed by Power Engineering. Report date is February 13th, 2026. The site visit was also on February 13, 2026. The file number for the project is SE 802827. As Greg mentioned, there were some comments from the state, but they more were relative to the 401 water quality considerations. But this project does not exceed the 5,000 square feet alteration, and it doesn't trigger the 401 water quality. Just quickly. Detailed description of the work. The town has filed a limited project for road maintenance to construct a roundabout at the intersection of Robert and Tickle Road on Route 177 for traffic improvements. The proposed project area contains 2 BVW and 1 isolated land subject to flooding. The wetland flags B1 through B22 are on the north side along Tickle Road. The second BVW is on Route 177 west of house number 101. This is wetland flags D11 through D25, and the isolated land subject to flooding is on the west side of Robert Street, approximately 100 feet up from the intersection, give or take. This ILSF area on Robert Street does hold water during the spring and fall, but does not contain any connection to any other BVW, making it meet that ILSF criteria. The new road design will require the permanent 508 square feet and the temporary 116 square feet alteration to the northern BVW. Stormwater discharges and some roadway grading will alter the wetland along this area. The roadway is being shifted north to allow the new roundabout and all highway improvements. The replication area of 1,087, which is greater than the 1-to-1 ratio, is proposed to replace the temporary and permanent losses of that 624 square feet. The project goal is to improve the intersection with adding the roundabout and other associated improvements to stormwater to promote public safety. The road work will be designed in accordance with Mass DOT requirements. The new roadway will not require a 401 water quality certification because this disturbance in the resource is well under the 5,000 square foot threshold. The wetland replication of 1,087 square feet will be constructed in the north section along Tickle Road. The wetland replication will remove most of the vegetation within while preserving some of the mature trees. It will be planted with high bush blueberry, red maple, and black gum, and sweet pepper bush. The remaining area will be seeded with a wetland seed mix. The work will also be installing deep sunk catch basins and the grass drainage bioretention swales in order to enhance the stormwater measures. All discharges of stormwater will be directed through riprap aprons at each outflow. The limited project filing has been taken into account, researching all alternatives to limit the alteration to what you see in these resource areas. All activity is within the Mass DOT layout, with some areas requiring easements from landowners to accommodate this design. Erosion controls will be installed along all edges of the work and will be maintained throughout the project. Resource areas impacted a buffer zone and BVW as they had shown. The wetland recommendations, the Westport Conservation should consider approving the limited proc roadway application to install a roundabout at Route 177 Robert Street and Tickle Road intersection. With conditions, I only have one condition, and that's that all easements are signed and recorded before the project moves forward, as well as our standard conditions, which identify 48-hour notice, et cetera. So the only condition I think of concern is to make sure all easements are signed and recorded. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Do you have any questions about what Chris' report, what he said?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any questions about his report? No. Do you have any questions from the audience? I'll state your name, sir.
Sure. Sean Week.
Come up to the podium because she like, you know,
Okay,
like to get you on.
radius of the roundabout.
The radius, it's 50, if you want the radius, it's 55.
55 feet.
Yep.
What's the turning radius to a fire truck?
I don't know the exact turning radius off the top of my head, but this was ran using WB50, which is bigger than a fire truck, so.
You have a water truck and it needs a 65-foot radius. What I'm concerned about is you're gonna need to come back and widen this thing. And I would think that you should file for something appropriately. That's my concern. Besides just ruining my commute to work twice a day. But it's not wide enough to get a water truck around that. Because that's the same problem they have in front of the casino at Tiverton.
I mean, we.
You're up on the curb and you're up on the sidewalk.
Yeah, so, I mean, well, that truck, they do have a truck apron in the center that allows the trucks to make that turn a little bit smoother.
But I think if you're going west on 177, you try to get on Broad Street, you're never gonna make that turn.
So, I mean, this whole area right here is mountable.
Correct.
Anything that can, any turning, the trucks are able to.
I'm not
use this.
criticizing the design, I know you're only here for the wetlands part of it, but I just think it's not gonna work, and we're gonna have to widen everything around here to make that turn. That's my concern.
All right. Thank you, Sean.
Mr. Chairman, if I just make one
Sure.
short comment.
Oh, 1 second, man.
The Tiverton roundabout is the same way, and I've watched vehicles, they actually piggyback, they jump their tires up on the actual rotary and they use it. So this curbing on this rotary is made in a manner so it's not abrupt, it's actually lowered, so if this does occur, they're allowed to use that inability to get around that roundabout.
Yeah, this curbing here is mountable. This inside here is not, this
Correct.
is your normal curb, but
But it should be,
this is all mountable, so a truck can get up and.
but a truck heading westerly, it's not gonna do this, it's gonna do this to get to Robin Street. It's never gonna hit that inside, it's gonna hit the outside. It's not gonna do this and go around like this, it's gonna come down and go.
Yeah, no, and I understand. We did run it based off the trucks, like I said, WB50, which is a pretty 50-foot truck, and it does meet all the turning requirements for that. So.
All right. Thank you. Manny? Just state your name for Manny, please.
Manuel Soares Jr., 316 Gifford Road. Formerly, I lived on 195 Tickle Road. I do operate a low bed truck. I have problems, I can't make it around the Tiverton one. This is gonna prevent me from getting, I don't know how I'm gonna get to that other end of town with the low bed. I'm definitely not gonna be able to go with that. My other concern is if there's gonna be any land takings for the wetlands, and then Sean just brought up another concern that he believes you're gonna have to expand it. So, I think if you're gonna come forward with the whole plan. But my other question would be is I live at 316 Gifford, which I have an intersection at the end of the street on Route 6 with a stoplight, and your company has a proposed design in front of Mass Highway for the blinking mast light at that location, where I believe they put an extra pipe in case they wanted to switch it into a stoplight at a later date. I would like you guys to explain to us what the difference between that intersection is and this intersection, because in previous meetings that I've seen, you guys were telling us that that's what Mass DOT wanted, but we got some other residents that, I mean, a lot of people are against this, and I would just wonder why Mass DOT said that we need a roundabout there, but they don't need a roundabout at Gifford. Because I believe,
Well, they're only here for the wetlands.
I know,
So
but-
we can't get into the, my next question is, did this go to planning? Did planning board look at this?
Does not have to,
Doesn't
Mr.
have to.
Chairman.
The fire department get notified of it, just to make comment, or anybody?
I would say the police department was in favor of it, but I'm not sure if the fire department has commented since it's been presented.
I mean, that doesn't have, the questions are very good questions that Sean and Manny asked. They don't have anything to do with the wetlands as far as, you know, right now. Unless you need to expand it, then you'd have to come back and that could be problematic. But I would suggest before you do this, that, or whoever's in charge of this program, I'm not really sure, you guys, I would talk to the fire department, and I would see if there's any other best practices for the size of the rotary, to be honest with you, because I'd hate to see you undersize it and then have to come back and then maybe not get an approval, then you kind of stuck with a non-functioning rotary, so.
Chair, where in the process, or can I ask you guys, where in the process are you with respect to this? Like, as pointed out, if there are land issues or easements, would that make more sense to provide this plan after that occurs, or if there is a situation where you have to come back and it has to be widened, or, you know, to accommodate that? Because I know everyone can say, but you go to that Rhode Island DOT admitted they failed on putting that rotary in front of that casino, and it's a cluster over there when you see that. I mean, there are trucks that can only go one way and can't go the other way. So, to the chairman's point, you know, if there is an expansion, have we had that all confirmed, and the easements and the takings, and should that be, should you be coming to us at a later date with that sort of stuff, as opposed to checking this box?
So formal right-of-way plans have not been, approved yet, so we're still in the process of, filing those. So, I mean, the design's at 100%. We'll obviously take these concerns, and bring them up with, Mass DOT as well.
Who's spearheading the project in town? Is it the town administrator?
So Jim Harnett, before he left, was the one that was spearheading the project. And then, like I said, originally, so the town was paying for the design, and then in order for the construction of the actual roundabout, or the construction of any of the alternatives, the town needed funds from MassDOT, so that's when we started going towards MassDOT guidelines.
I mean, from wetlands perspective, you probably meet the regulations, and you could probably get approval, but if it's not a good design, not that it's your fault, but if it's not gonna work for, you know, the trucks that travel down that road, I would think maybe you wanna talk to the town administrator about, you know, getting some input from the fire department and maybe the planning board, and make it so it's a more workable project before you seek approval, rather than having to come back. You could just, you know, you can ask for, it's up to you, you can ask for a vote, or you can ask for a continuance, or whatever you wanna do, but I hate to see you get an approval for a plan that's not gonna work.
And then it'll look a lot worse if you have to come before us with the.
If you're gonna be taking land from somebody to make this happen, and then you find out we need more land, then you gotta go back and take more land from the people, I think that's, you know, not that it's wetlands related, but I think it's unfair.
Chair, Jim, one quick question.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the wetlands impact is because you have to have that shared use path, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's a requirement that is mandated by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts?
Yeah, even during our meeting.
Even though there's no sidewalk, it's a sidewalk to
Even
nowhere?
with our meeting with, so the ultimate plan eventually is, from what I'm hearing, is they're trying to make a connection from Westport to Rhode Island with a path along 177. But strictly for the sake of this project, yes, Jim was very passionate about, can we just put the space in for it? Can we just put the space in for it without having to actually put the pedestrian improvements in? And MassDOT was very adamant with, these are our guidelines, and this is what needs to be installed.
Chairman, I have one more question on that. So we talked about other alternatives, or you took into account all alternatives. So on the south side, you were saying that there was a septic system that was probably forcing you to shift that northerly, to shift that whole intersection.
Yeah, the septic system is basically at the stone wall, so.
But there's no other space where you can move that septic so that you're not shifting into other property owners?
So the whole reason why we shifted north was to avoid the septic, to avoid the cost of that relocation.
But we're dealing with a $5 million project, which I think is a complete taxpayer boondoggle, mind you. But you have a $5 million project, and you weren't willing to avoid the wetlands because you had to pay possibly $50,000 to $70,000 to move a septic system? Is that correct?
I would say on the high end, that's $120,000 system.
Okay, out of a $5 million project.
Because of its capacity and its size and.
So we're gonna impact the wetlands because the Commonwealth doesn't wanna spend any more money to fix that. Okay, that's fine. I just wanted that on the record.
Maybe the owner doesn't want to have their, relocated. Maybe it can't comply.
Phil, you have questions? Did you have?
I just, because it seemed like a third alternative, which we use sometimes, because it's a little bit hard for, it's like kind of a horse and cart type of thing here, that we could condition it on, confirmation that, that the, all the traffic issues related to safety and the ability of, large vehicles to, maneuver through the traffic circle are confirmed. Just a third option between a continuance and.
All right. Roy, did you have a question?
I do.
No, okay, Jason?
So I know nothing about roundabout traffic scheme design, so my question may be a really dumb one, but why are we doing a roundabout and not a simple set of lights?
So, we did conduct a warrant analysis, so, to add on to the question that was asked earlier about that other intersection, that when you look at that, those volumes coming from those side streets, they probably larger than what's coming from Robert and Tickle, and that's probably why that one warranted like a traffic signal. This and that one also, I don't believe is funded by MassDOT. I think that's just the town. So, like I was saying, with this one, we don't meet the traffic signal warrant just because of the low volumes that you do have coming out of the side street, but it was still ran through the intersection control evaluation tool. And once, like I said, there's criteria, like I said, crash reduction, there's speed, I don't know them all off the top of my head, but there's a handful of criteria that get assessed in each improvement, and it eventually spits out the result of which one is the preferred alternative based off the values it was given. So in this case, the roundabout provided the best value for future maintenance, for crash reduction, for capacity, for all these things.
But if they've got,
Hold on, ma'am, if you'd like to make a comment, you come up here and you can ask.
I just have another comment.
As soon as she's
So
done.
if the traffic volume east-west versus the traffic volume north-south are part of the criteria, which I totally get, we have the computer boxes that adjust the light, the time that the light is green versus red. I mean, all the lights on 88 aren't coordinated. So if that's a criteria, why don't they want to put turnabouts at every intersection on 88? I understand there's more criteria, but every time, just anecdotally as a driver, and as I try to teach my kids how to drive, roundabouts, they scare the hell out of me. People know what they're doing. Like, whatever accident reduction criteria this computer thing spits out, in real life, people don't know how to manage those things, and it's gonna take generations for people to learn. They've never gotten it.
Like, go to East Providence, see what they did.
Yeah, you take your life in your hands, so I don't know why we can't save a whole pile of money, put up some lights with the light phases coordinated to allow for the higher east-west volume.
Okay.
Just like, it seems like this is a project that, I don't know that I don't care what the computer says. In the real world, I just don't think we need it.
All right, well, go ahead, Jake.
So as you can tell, it's honestly a very controversial project to bring it to Westport. It's not. But I just wonder, you quoted saying that since there are low volume side streets coming into this rotary, coming into this location, that it deserves a rotary based on the statistics. Yet the high volume at the blinking light on Gifford Road, which has a higher chance for traffic accidents, you're gonna put a blinking light. It's counterintuitive in my mind that if you're quoting this as a safety improvement for the area, but then you're saying you get a rotary because it's low volume on the side streets, which in my opinion would decrease the chances for incidents to occur as opposed to the other one, so.
It's just the volumes on the side streets don't meet the requirements to warrant a signal. That it's based off METCD, if you look at the guidelines, it basically just,
So you have.
if you don't have enough, if you don't have enough volume on the side streets too, it can also hinder your traffic signal. Just because it is still gonna be calling these side street phases, and now you're gonna have queuing along Route 177 with opposed to just, for example, for capacity for a roundabout, everybody, obviously you yield, but it's one direction that everyone's going. So when you're talking about safety compared to a traffic signal, there's only 8 conflict points at a roundabout compared to 32 at a traffic signal.
Ma'am, did you have a question? Do you want to say something? No, hold on, Manny, the young lady. Did you want to say something, ma'am? You can just come up here and just state your name for us, and we're all nice, so.
Hi. Michelle Cardy, my husband Ron and I have the home at 407 Tickle Road. We bought it. We did not, when it was built, we weren't aware that this was going to be a plan when we bought it. I've, as you know, submitted several complaints about it and concerns. As a statistician, while you do not give out your algorithms and all of the data that goes into it, I can guarantee that everything that it's based on, everything that is a norm, does not fit what is real life there in that intersection, as you were saying. So you might be taking something that might be a nationwide standard, but here, it really does not fit. And I understand that someone died many years ago. There have been no more fatalities. There have been no more increase in accidents with the current situation as it is. But what you're doing when trucks go around that intersection is you are changing the trajectory to where they are going to point at my house. So when they hit ice, instead of they're going this way and they're this far away from the house, and yes, they can hit each other and they can fall over, they're still far away from everything. When you put a roundabout in and they hit ice, and you haven't even planned for a barrier or anything, my office is the corner of that house. You're trying to solve the fact that there was one bad accident by making it much more dangerous for me to live in my home, for my grandkids to be there, and a whole bunch of other things that I just don't understand why. When this was planned at a time when there was not a house there, there were not homes up and down that road, that you didn't say, not you, the town didn't say, hey, I understand we sunk some money into an assessment of this. I understand that's what we thought at the time. But we made a mistake because we also said that this could be built, and we also decided that there would be all of these other things. And the amount of traffic that there is now might be completely irrelevant for how much traffic there will be 5 years from now by the time you finish this, and then you say, oops, we should have had a light because now there's all this traffic. So, you know, I've looked at the numbers. I don't think you've got statistically significant differences, but I haven't done the analysis to tell you, like, across these very different factors. I would love to get into that, but not my job. I just think you wouldn't even be dealing with taking away wetlands, doing all this other stuff, if you went back to the board and said, hey, town, maybe we should reconsider this. Just because we went all the way down this road, sunk cost doesn't mean we should spend $5 million more on something. Maybe we ought to consider leaving it how it is, putting up another yellow warning light, or doing some other model. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Manny? Just so you know, we are here to discuss the wetlands. I'm giving a little bit more latitude only because, I mean,
So I'm gonna be in agreement with the engineer on the light, and the reason why Mass DOT said, because I was involved in some of that stuff. So the reason that Mass DOT said, because they determined also that Gifford Road did not require a stoplight, and that's why they couldn't put a stoplight there. But they did, it's the same analysis for the mast and actually, if you see the intersection they do, they have a double yellow light, and that's what's gonna happen in Gifford Road. And in that planning process, I was involved in it on the planning board, when Mr. Hartnett was also involved in the Gifford Road, and I asked them to put an extra duct in there. If they ever changed it, make sure they accommodated if it did meet the criteria where you put a stoplight. And that's how that came to point. And for the people who own that house in there, I was also involved when the roundabout came, when the police chief, former police chief, Mr. Pelletier, wanted the roundabout.
Correct.
And at the same time, the planner they did a flexible frontage subdivision there, where these houses were built. And that was all at the same time. And if you look at one of the meetings, I mentioned it in the meeting. In addition to that, I don't believe that the developer, and I believe the flexible frontage engineer was Site Tech Engineering, and I don't think they applied for a Mass Highway curb cut permit that they required for the development, and then each individual house, if you look at Mass Highway curb cut regulations, when those houses were built, I don't believe, that's my belief, that was never done. So Mass Highway didn't even really know that this was going on at the same time, just like the people that owned the house before, she sold the house when she found out.
Yes, Sean?
It seems, bringing it back to wetlands, it seems to me that Tom was saying goal here with less impact to wetlands, just put turnout lanes in the east-west directions, because that's where the problem is. When someone is stopped on Route 177 for any length of time, because there's west traffic, they can't make the turn north onto Tickle and vice versa for Robert. If you had turnout lanes in both directions, it would solve that problem. And you wouldn't have to widen the road as much, you wouldn't have to shift the road, and you could just easily make the traffic. You had 4 or 5 queues for cars. I'm not a traffic engineer, I don't play on TV, but that would work, because I go by there twice a day and I see what the problems are. That rotary would be a problem, especially for a truck that's trying to plow.
All right, thank you, Sean.
Do you think we?
Mr. Chairman, if I just may, through the chair, I just thank you for letting people air their concerns, but, you know, we are here only with governing work within 100 feet of wetlands. It wasn't our decision for this design. I don't know where it stands with the selectmen. I just would ask, if, Greg, if we were to vote in favor of, or come to a vote, if you're telling me that this really isn't final plans, this redesign or what you may change may be more than what an amended order of conditions would allow, if you know what I'm saying. If we approve this and you come in and say, oh, we're gonna make changes, you may be coming in with a whole new NOI.
We did work through the 100% process with MassDOT, so these are final plans. I think what Kyle was saying was the right-of-way plans as far as easements.
The right-of-way, yeah, the right-of-way plans haven't been finalized.
What if people don't sign? Then it's taken by the town or the state takes it? Is that how it's gonna work? If they don't sign the easements?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
So could we have prolonged legal battle then on that, I would imagine?
Well, again, I'm just asking questions, because I don't want you guys to get an approval from us and then find out, if you feel confident that you don't need to make any more modifications, then we can come to a vote. I'm just leaving that to you guys.
Yeah.
Because whatever may, or if it doesn't change, your proposed amendments may not be acceptable, in other words, if it's that much of a difference. So I just want to air that out. And lastly, Mr. Chairman, I want to remind people in the audience, if you are in a butter, you have the right to appeal these decisions that the commission may make. There's a 10-day appeal period that follows any decision that the commission may take on such applications. And if you do consider such an appeal, if you contact the office, I could advise on how that may come about. But that's all, Mr. Chairman.
And just so that people know, that this is, our jurisdiction is strictly the wetlands, it's not the safety of, or if an 18-wheeler can make the turn. Although as town residents, we're all concerned about that. And we don't want to see a bad design, or not that, I don't want to say a bad design, we don't want to see a design that's not going to meet the needs of that area happen like what's in Tiverton. You know, so we want to get it done once, because otherwise there may be more impacts in the future. So that's our purview is strictly the wetlands. Just it's not about this. It's not about, you know, the design. And if it were, it would probably be a different. It could possibly be a different outcome.
Just one comment. I mean, based on the wetlands impact, I'll vote yes for it, but I don't want my yes vote to be misconstrued as any type of endorsement for the project, right? I'm not gonna waste our agent's time with issues that aren't within his purview, so you'll have my vote, but you don't have my endorsement.
I agree. All right, so if that's the case, looking for a motion. Come on.
In the interest of time, I'll make a motion to approve the limited project roadway application as it pertains strictly to wetlands impact.
Second.
And that was Phil seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
All right. So, Jake.
Jake.
So it passes, but I don't think any of us are happy about the project, to be honest with you. We only vote for it because it meets state regulations, but I really think you need to the town should contact the fire department and take input from
Final
other.
approval is the Board of Selectmen, I would say.
So the only thing that's come before select board at that point is a pole relocation that they came with, and Star, the others. So that's, the final approval will probably come before, the select board, at a future time.
Okay, thank you.
And they just put one of these out on Rhode Island somewhere, and they had the same problem. The buses can't make it around the rotary, and it's a debacle out there too. So I don't know who designs the standards. I know it's not you guys, but
I mean, I assume it would be, you know, if the select board could, you know, hire its own consultant and go and look at all the data and, you know, form an opinion and come back and, you know, and do that, you know, just as happens in projects where people don't, you know, necessarily take the proponent's idea. It just requires an investment of time and money to do it.
And my only concern is the $5 million state project, why should the town spend any more money on that?
Well, that's a different level of what we're
Yeah.
talking about here. I'm just saying, if people don't think that this plan is going to accomplish what it is, and it's kind of based on engineering science, then just like we do here, we hire our experts to look at what other experts say
Correct.
and, you know, make a counter argument about it. And I think everyone's trying to get to the same goal, so, but there's always potential for disagreement, you know, on these kind of topics, just like there are in, you know, whether groundwater pump wells are going to affect cold water fisheries, right?
yeah, no,
So, you know, let's, everyone
You guys are all
gets in
set.
and, you know, try and figure out what makes sense.
I just want to point to that one, Phil said, thank the town to hire a consultant. Thank you. This is the town's consultant.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just, okay, well then, well, a little bit, you know, what
well, you know, Manny,
Chris
even
was
with,
saying is that sometimes, you know, you have to, you know,
even with the wetlands regulations, sometimes they meet the regulations, but it's not the best practice. You know, it's just,
Don't forget,
That was the wetland problem.
no, I'm just saying in general.
yeah.
Oh, these are mine?
I still, it's just a mistake they made, comes to me.
All right, guys.
And I know the fact is, the reason they didn't want to stop like and go on the road is because they said, blinking, that's what they need to do is put a new blinking light in.
Yeah.
So they need to put a new blinking light and do what Sean said about the drop off lanes. Problem solved. Gonna fix the drainage at that time, I do believe the section needs upgrades. It's just not a road.
No, we're just limited to reviewing the wetlands, that's all. If it was a safety issue, we would have voted differently, I'm sure. Because if we had the purview to do that. All right.
Eric Greenwood.
European vacation, Chevy Chase.
See over there?
Yep.
This is it right here, Chad.
In Portugal, all they have is
Unanticipated,
roundabouts. They don't have
Eric Greenwood, 52 Jillian Way, to install well and water line with tree cutting in the buffer zone.
Good evening, Sean Leach for Eric Greenwood and from Northeast Engineers. This is a lot on Gillian Way, one of the vacant lots. There's only two left on the north side of Gillian Way. There's a bordering vegetated wetland to the north, significant bordering vegetated wetland. What we're looking at to do here, originally there was a design for this house to put the well outside the buffer zone. Unfortunately, the lot next door has designed a reserve area in here, so we're not we can't put the well over here far enough to get 100 feet away from their septic and our septic, so the only place that we have located is 22 feet inside the buffer zone, which is this yellow line. All other activities are outside the buffer zone. The grading, we've got retaining wall design to keep everything outside the buffer zone. It's just a matter of installing a well and a line, which probably means a couple of trees need to get cut to do that.
Thank you, Sean.
Mr. Chairman, this is Eric Greenwood, 52 Gilliam Way. This is a request for determination of applicability. Northeast Engineers and Consultants filed with Sean Leach representing. The report date is February 17th, 2026. This is Board of Health approved. The site visit was also on February 17th, 2026. The owner has filed a request for determination to request approvals to remove trees and grade in the buffer zone. The existing lot has been undeveloped since the subdivision was constructed. The wetland line is located on an adjacent lot, and the buffer zone overlaps the rear portion of this lot. The well is proposed just out, well, in the buffer zone, just inside the buffer zone rather. However, some trees in this buffer zone will need to be removed in order to get the well truck in place. The home will be built entirely outside of the buffer zone. The area will be graded around the well and become rear yard for the home. Erosion controls are to be installed beyond the work and remain until the area is stabilized. As you can see, there's also a drainage easement on that side of the lot, so they're really the opposing side, you got it listed as a drainage easement.
Yeah, down here.
Right in there, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why you got limited a little bit as well. The recommendations, Westport Conservation Commission should approve the well and grading in the buffer zone with a negative box 3 determination. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any questions?
One question for Sean. A lot of times we ask people to put a pile of boulders along
As a barrier to...
just to prevent any future encroachment. Then surely, once they start clearing, they'll end up with enough rocks.
Yeah, I know there's more conditions for this drainage easement that goes along the side here. It kind of dies here and it just goes into the woods towards the wetlands. So they're not expecting to do a lot in here other than put a well. I mean, it drops off significantly down to the wetlands, so I don't know if you want to put boulders around the well, I'm not sure what's out there for boulders, but...
Where's the other vacant lot? Oh, that's the other vacant lot, okay.
Yeah, right next door.
This
They're
is
right
the-
next door to each other.
Yes, I knew
The
they were,
septic
but this
system
is the furthest
right
one,
here.
okay.
Because originally we had the well over here, but the septic system for this lot's over here, so we couldn't get 100 feet away.
Okay, and they're both owned by the same family?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so if the topography doesn't, if a stone border doesn't do any good, then I wouldn't even bring it up. But, you know, everybody tells us they're not gonna do anything else, and then they do everything else.
I mean, there's gonna be some tree clearing just for the house, but it's fairly flat and then it drops off to like a giant swale that heads towards the significant wetlands. That way it drops right off.
All right.
All right. Any other questions or concerns?
Just wonder what subdivision is that?
All right. For a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the well and grading in the buffer zone with negative box 3.
I second it.
Second from Bart. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's unanimous. We have 3 certificate of compliance applications.
We only have 2, Mr.
We only
Chairman.
have 2.
For the record, 2 of them have been requested for continuances because of the snow cover. So Lawrence Humphrey and Jonathan Levy will be postponed to the 30th meeting in 3:30 is our last meeting in March, Leon, right? Yeah. Okay.
So who's this one? What's this?
These are 2 Bruce Roths. We have 2 Bruce Roth.
Okay, I only see one in there, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, I'll do that.
The last meeting in March, yes.
So I need a motion to move these, due to snow cover and inability to inspect. Jonathan Levy, SE 802243, 418 G and H Drift Road, move that to the last meeting in March.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, that was Phil and Jake. All in favor? Opposed? All right. Same thing for Lawrence Humphrey, SE 802516, 218 Hicksbridge Road, move to the last meeting in March.
Motion to continue.
It's Jake, you got a second? Second from Phil, all in favor? Opposed? All right, that's unanimously on. All right, now we have Bruce Roth, SE 801614, and two, these gonna be done at the same time, you're gonna do them separately?
Two separate ones, yeah.
Okay, so Bruce Roth, SE 801614, 27 Atlantic Ave.
Correct, Mr. Chairman, this is Bruce Ross. This is an outstanding order that's been in the files for quite some time. The report is dated February 13th,
Let me
2026.
just ask the question, is it 2614 or 1614? Because-
1614 and 2614, there's two of them,
Okay, I'm good. No,
okay? They happen to be, Brady, 2614 and 1614 are very similar, so
All right.
he was just fortunate. But yes, Mr. Chairman, this is file number SE 801614. This work was filed to request a certificate of compliance for work that was to construct a deck attached to the existing home. The home is elevated on Atlantic Ave, and this application was later amended to install a stairwell down to the rear of the home. All work was conducted in 2008 and completed according to the plan of record. So this is housekeeping, we're just trying to move this along. The recommendations, the Westport Conservation should approve the certificate of compliance, file number SE 801614, with a full release of the associated work completed in 2008 for Bruce Roth, 27 Atlantic Ave.
All right, do we have any questions? If not, a motion? Motion from Jake, do you have a second?
Second.
Second from Phil. All in favor? Opposed? I mean, anybody opposed? No. All right. All right, so we have another one from Mr. Bruce Roth, SE 8027.
Mr. Chairman.
2614.
Correct. Bruce Roth, 27 Atlantic Ave. This is another certificate of compliance. This is file number SE 802614. February 13th, 2026 is the date of the report and the site visit. The description of the work, the applicant has filed to request a certificate of compliance for file number SE 802614. The work was to construct a garage in the flood zone in front of the home. The work was completed a few years ago in 2021, and work was done in accordance with the plan of record. Recommendations, the Westport Conservation should approve the certificate of compliance with a full release of file number SE 802614 for the garage constructed at 27 Atlantic Ave, as all work was completed according to the plan of record.
Do you have a motion? Do you have a second?
Second.
Jake and Phil, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Hang on, Andy's gonna forgive us. Sure, yeah.
All right, we'll just sign it.
Oh, all right, let me sign it. Notice this-
I'll give it to him.
Yeah, just give a heads up.
All right. We have, let's see here, East Bay Media Advertising. Excuse me. $258 for advertising for hearings. Need a motion from Jake. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second from Jason. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, nobody. Great. Jason was second. Jake made the motion. Jason seconded it.
He's very appreciative. He doesn't have much clothing.
That was Mason's?
That was made. No, that was advertising. East Bay. All right. Our next bill is for Serpide. $526.85.
Mr. Chairman, that's for the open space plan we're working towards under a grant. That's our share or our contribution of the grant to date.
Still motion approved.
Motion from Jake. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second from Phil. All in favor? Opposed? I always like the contribution. Whenever I have to pay taxes, they call it a contribution. They call my taxes revenue and not theft of my wages, but that's just me. All right.
Wait till you get the contract with our broker.
Wait till I get my new excise tax bill. All right.
Something tells me I want to go into the rotary construction business after this.
Yes.
Gonna want to.
We just got a truck with good clearance. February 3rd, 2026 minutes, present. Myself, Jake, Tom, Phil, Burton, and Jason. So we can vote on these. If there are no changes, I need a motion to approve the minutes from 2/3.
Motion approved.
Second.
That was Jake and Jason. That's February 3rd minutes. All in favor? Opposed? All right. Let's see what else we have here. We have, these are, executive session, so we can vote on these executive session minutes. Need a motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, that was Jake and Jason, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You got that, Leon? Jake and Jason, executive minutes.
2-3. And there's a request to re-sign 1125. These were already approved?
Yeah.
All right, so these are for you, Jason. You obviously messed up your signature. The one time you run the meeting and it's messed up. You gotta check it, you didn't check the box.
I think somebody probably sold it as an autograph, and that's why we have to re-sign it. That's what I'm thinking.
They can go to the Bristol County Coastal Corrections. and get voted out.
Yeah.
All right,
Don't tell me what the pen would be worth. Jeez.
That's all, yeah.
so that's all I have. Chris, what do you have, anything for us?
I just have an update that the SOC for Buckman, the applicant's attorney, Brodsky, has asked DEP for an extension to 2/27 to respond to our letter. I expected that. And in addition to that, the public water supply across the street on Main Road, Mass DEP will be scheduling an on-site in the coming weeks because of the snowfall and snow cover. They're looking at sometime in the beginning weeks of March. So that's just a heads up on that one. That's all.
All right, well, if we have nothing else,
Just to follow up on the first one, but we have not heard back from Alex about any conversations about alternative plans.
No.
Okay.
No.
go ahead. So if no one else has anything, look for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
That was Phil, second from Jake, all in favor?
Aye.